もこの後の予想を見ていきます。こちらは晴れると15度くらいまで上がるような暖かな気温です。今は九州や四国が中心となっています。この後、明日にかけて動かしてみますと、だんだんとじわじわと北上する予想です。明日の午後には東北、北陸まで降りそうですから、明日は今日よりも気温が高くなって暖かくなりそうです。ただ雪が多く積もっている地域は降りやすくなりますのでご注意ください。さて今年はいつもの年よりも桜前線の食上早くなっています。これまでに開花したところを見ていきますと、これまで九州から関東にかけて開花しています。今日も神戸や宇都宮、水戸などから続々と開花の便りが出ております。この週末、お花見を予定されている方もいらっしゃるかもしれませんが、日曜日は気温が低くなって寒くなるところがありそうです。お花見の方はお散歩をお続けください。明日は北日本の日本海側、再び昼頃から天気が崩れそうです。明日は雨の降る所が多くなるでしょう。その他、太平洋側中心の西日本、沖縄は広く晴れそうです。最近の週の今朝に入るところが多いでしょう。札幌から日本にかけては冬型です。最高気温は全国的に今日より5度前後高くなります。多くのところで4月並みです。札幌は5度、関東から西の地域の西6度まで上がるところが多いでしょう。では週間予報。札幌から東京です。日本海側は土曜日
すみません、桜様。
日曜日も太平洋側で雲が広がり、東京は冷たい雨が降りそうです。名古屋からのです。ではこの暖かな空気のこの後の予想を見ていきます。こちらは晴れると15度くらいまで上がるような暖かな気温です。今は九州や四国が中心となっています。この後、明日にかけて動かしてみますと、だんだんとじわじわと北上する予想です。明日の午後には東北、北陸まで降りそうですから、明日は今日よりも気温が高くなって暖かくなりそうです。ただ雪が多く積もっている地域は降りやすくなりますのでご注意ください。さて今年はいつもの年よりも桜前線の食上早くなっています。これまでに開花したところを見ていきますと、これまで九州から関東にかけて開花しています。今日も神戸や宇都宮、水戸などから続々と開花の便りが出ております。この週末、お花見を予定されている方もいらっしゃるかもしれませんが、日曜日は気温が低くなって寒くなるところがありそうです。お花見の方はお散歩をお続けください。では、明日は北日本の日本海側、再び昼頃から天気が崩れそうです。明日は雨の降る所が多くなるでしょう。その他、太平洋側中心の西日本、沖縄は広く晴れそうです。最近の週の今朝に入るところが多いでしょう。札幌から日本にかけては冬型です。最高気温は全国的に今日より5度前後高くなります。多くのところで4月並みです。札幌は5度、関東から西の地域の西6度まで上がるところが多いでしょう。では週間予報。札幌から東京です。日本海側は土曜日
すみません、桜様。
日曜日も太平洋側で雲が広がり、東京は冷たい雨が降りそうです。名古屋からのです。
Good evening. Good evening, guys. Oh, let me just adjust the setting here. All right, it's okay. It's fair enough. It's fair enough. How are we doing today? Let me just adjust the music. All right. I hope you're doing fine. Sunday, I shouldn't be streaming. But somebody asked me a question, and I was like, should I reply on Twitter or should I make a live stream and just discuss it? Because it's an important topic, I guess, and it's related to one of our sponsors. Yes, it's stablecoin stuff, and I was like, maybe instead of tweeting, because I always reply by Twitter, right? I usually just reply on Twitter, but I was like, nah, let me do 2 slides. So actually I did 2 slides for today to add to our collection, and we'll discuss them basically. 2 slides about stablecoins. It's very simple stuff. It's very, very simple stuff. But I hope it does help. I hope it gives you a better understanding of the benefits and risks of stablecoins. And we'll do a comparison, right, of the stablecoins that exist in Pulsechain, how they are, how they operate, and yeah, basically that's it. And I'm here to answer any questions, especially from you, Temtem, because this is basically a special class just for you, a special session. I should have put it on the title actually. Temtem's special episode, but then people would think that you would be coming to the show, Temtem. So I was like, nah, I'll just leave it as Pulsechain stables, and yes, that's it. So I hope you guys had a great Sunday so far, a great weekend. I did not travel this weekend, stayed in the city, but did a lot of things, family stuff, and yeah, arrived late around dinner time, so I had dinner and did the slides, and here I am, guys. Thank you for reviewing all of these details. No worries, Temtem. That's why we're here, to help you guys to discuss stuff that interests you too, yeah. Let me change the music, by the way, to the normal music. Oops. There we go. Perfect. Let me know if the music is too loud or if it's okay. I think in the last episode, the music was a bit too loud, I guess. I had somebody complaining that I speak louder, so I guess the music was a little bit loud. But let me know, guys. Let me know if you hear me fine, and I can adjust it. All right. Should we dive already into the stablecoins, or take a quick? Let me. Scary week coming. Oh, crypto land. Maybe we'll do a little discussion of the stuff that's coming, because everybody's scared. Everybody's so scared. I guess the markets crash on Friday, right? Oh my God. Is it the end? Are we going down? Are we going to zero this time? Yes. The short answer is yes. We're going to zero. Finally, it's here. It's happening, guys. So congratulations. I'm joking. No, probably not. Probably. You know my feeling, right, guys? I think this is like just a small flu, right? Something that it's unimportant, that eventually we'll forget once the prices start skyrocketing. And I know the macro, all that shit that I don't care about. I never do. I never care about news and whatever, like the macro. I don't care about that stuff. It doesn't matter. At least to me, nothing matters, literally. It's just the price action and the fundamentals. And the memes, basically. That's what I care about. Nothing else. So I don't look at other stuff. I hear, right, from Twitter, from sometimes I'm forced to watch the news sometimes when I'm somewhere where there are news, basically. So yeah, there's apparently tariffs are destroying everything. Like, I couldn't give a shit about tariffs, guys. Come on, like, do you think I really care about tariffs? No, I don't. Yeah, pump those tariffs, man. Pump the tariffs. Make everybody else pay. It makes sense. I would definitely have tariffs, right? If I was the king. If I was the king, I would put tariffs. Obviously, like number one thing, tariffs. Boom. Boost the internal economy. That's obvious, right? That's absolutely obvious. So I think it's actually a good thing, right? I don't care. But I understand, like, oh, everybody's scared, la la la, etc. Right? Yeah, I get it. Whatever the end result is, right? Because there's a group that apparently thinks this is just like theater, so that other countries can adjust their their tariffs and against the US, right? And lower them, basically. Other people think, oh, now it's here to stay. So I don't care. Either way, it doesn't matter, because it's gonna work fine, right? If the tariffs go away, perfect. If they don't, like, everybody adjusts and like life goes on, right? So I don't think it matters much, right? Just like probably in terms of how soon we can kickstart the bull, right? Or it won't even matter, right? Or it won't even matter, and like prices will start to move up just because there will be more buyers for whatever reason. Like, I never try to guess why people buy and why they start buying hard. I don't try to guess. That's a game you guys know that I don't play. Like if I try to guess, it's just for fun. It's never because I'm trying to predict and allocate my positions against that prediction. Because I'm like, no, like for me it's easy. Either I'm in crypto or I'm not, right? And what I mean by it, like most times, you should. Like, I'm always a little bit in crypto, right? In the sense that I never sell everything, but I can be like in stables or whatever, right? For like a long period, right? But in my opinion, this is not the moment, right? And the fact that a lot of people are in stables gives me confidence that I'm right, basically, because like the moment to be in stables is when everybody's not in stables, right? At the end of the world, basically, and the perfect time to not be in stables is when everybody's in stables, right? Because there will be a moment where things kind of shift, right? And it's good if you're already allocated and you don't need to worry about them. You don't need to chase green candles, blah blah blah. So if you're if you're already allocated to the assets that you like, perfect. You don't need to worry about. Like the only thing you need to worry about is, should have that you should have bought more. Probably that's the only thing that we will worry about when prices go higher, right? I'm on the same bucket, right? I will also worry about that because I will probably think, man, why didn't I buy more? Why didn't I buy harder? It's always like that, man. It's always like that. We learn, but we never fully learn. So Cryptoland, you think there's a scary week coming? Yeah, maybe not. Maybe you'll have a surprise and everything goes up for whatever reason, right? We don't know. So I just want to be prepared for the moment when everything shifts. It can be tomorrow. It could be in 2 more weeks. I never try to predict that. I got tired. I got tired of trying to predict what people are gonna do. It's impossible in my opinion to predict. So I just focus on the charts. The charts show us they show us the information that we need basically. So in that sense, I am a chart maximalist, right? That's why I focus on the charts and not on the news, right? Fundamentals is only in the sense, or like for example, does a protocol work? Does it work as expected? All that stuff, right? Fundamentals for me, it's not can be in terms of narrative, obviously. If I think a narrative is very strong, right? But it's more in terms of, because I call the narrative memetics, right? Because it's more towards like culture, story, storytelling, all that stuff, right? That's not really product related, right? It's more marketing, go to market, etc. So fundamentals for me is like, does the contract work? Does it have bugs? Does it have hacks? Like etc. Right? Fundamentally, if it doesn't, if it makes sense, if it's quality, right? Like hacks, for example, then perfect, tick box, right? But then it's the price chart that I care about, right? Because it shows the truth. That's the thing that I will always care about the most is the chart. It shows the truth. It shows what people are doing basically. So that's why when I see people attacking each other on Pulsechain, I find it hilarious because it's like people who are down minus 99% attacking people who are down minus 95%, right? It's hilarious. It's amazing. I love it. I love our community. It's the best community in every sense. So, guys, if you don't have like any more chit chat, maybe we can go into today's subject, because like there's not much to talk about. I guess the prices. Let me just see the prices really quick on my end. I just want to see if there's no. I mean, besides the meme coins that are pumping, obviously, like pDAI, there's not much going on. Like we can maybe take a look later, right? Maybe take a look later. We'll see. But first, we'll dive directly into today's topic. Because I don't want to waste your guys' time. It's Sunday. I wanna go to the meat of the discussion fast. And I want you guys to ask the questions that you have, right? Don't forget, this is not me talking, and this is not like a lesson. This is more like a discussion. I'm going to show you my point of view, and then if you want to rebut it and say, oh, but you forgot about this, maybe, or that, or what do you think about this? Let's do it, because that's the goal, right? The goal is to actually have a discussion, I think. But anyways, before we do that, I wanna I wanna, you know, kick the morale, push the morale, because our morale in Pulsechain is down with the price, and we need to, to get excited. We need to get excited. So as usual, I'm gonna play the hex song. I'm gonna play the Flourish the Pinky hex song, because that's what we'll be doing. That's exactly what we'll be doing in a few months, right? I know it sounds impossible. I know it sounds crazy. Macro is down, Trump tariffs, blah blah blah, end of world, right? So I know it seems impossible, but in a few months we'll be rejoicing. We'll be rejoicing with the pump, right? So there's absolutely no need to worry. In my humble opinion, in my 100% retardio opinion, there's absolutely no reason to worry about. So yeah, I'm gonna play the hex song so that we feel more excited and happier for the discussion that's coming. Let's go. Let's play this song. Boom.
Parish the Pinky.
What have we got here?
Parish the Pinky.
Pair of puffs,
Parish the Pinky.
sodomites.
Parish the Pinky.
What have we got here?
Parish the Pinky.
Pair of puffs, about town.
Parish the Pinky.
Sodomites.
Parish the Pinky.
What have we got here?
Parish the Pinky.
Pair of puffs,
Parish the Pinky.
sodomites. In frilly lace.
Parish the Pinky.
Yes, very good, very good. I love this song, man. I absolutely love this song. This will be us, guys. This will be us in just a few months. We'll be the crazy degenerates who made it. We'll be enjoying the luxury life, just walking around all fluffy, all fancy, all dressed up. That's gonna be us. So yes, guys, yes, just hope and pray and believe. TS Pedro, welcome, sir. Hello, how are you doing? I'm glad to see you here, sir. I'm glad to see you here. So shall we start today's lesson? Shall we go take a deep dive into the stable coins? Let me adjust the camera. Perfect. Let me know if you can see the screen, right? This is just going to be very simple stuff, right? I just want to give you an overview, basically just an overview of the things that I consider to be the most important in terms of risks and benefits, right? And you can see that the benefits are the green thing, right? A hand with all the benefits, and the warning are basically the risks. Very simple. So in terms of benefits of a stablecoin, first, I didn't do like a slide explaining all different stablecoins and all that shit, because like that's not the point. Today, right? Today, maybe like later, like in the future we can do that, but for now it's not really how each stablecoin works, blah blah blah. It doesn't matter, right? It's just the point of a stablecoin, right? Because you have many options, as we will see. So you have, you can choose, right? You have many options to choose from to understand what they are, how they work, etc., right? So today's goal is not to give you like a deep dive into each stablecoin, but actually do the opposite. Just give you an overview of how the stablecoins work and the benefits and risks, right? Very simple stuff. So in terms of stablecoins, before we go into the benefits and risks, it's just important for you guys to understand that there's like different types of stablecoins, right? The ones that we are going to focus today are CDPs, so collateral debt positions. So you add collateral, you add $100 of collateral, and you can borrow let's say $50, right? So you add more collateral than what you can borrow, and thus if you don't manage your positions like correctly, which means if the price goes down and you don't repay part of your debt, it means it can be liquidated. So the person who is liquidating your position, they're simply paying your debt and taking the underlying. And because there's a gap, there's this delta, there's this difference, right, in the collateral you deposit in USD value and the amount that you borrowed. Let's say it's 20%, right? So you can borrow up to 80%, something like that, right? It means that whoever is liquidating your position basically can get this premium, right? This gap, let's say. So if they're liquidating your position at let's say 90%, it means that they're getting a 10% premium, right? In USD terms, right? If they sell the coins immediately on the moment that they liquidate them, right? So that's what I mean by having a premium, right? For the liquidator. That's my point. So these are CDPs like Maker, for example, like DAI, like I don't know, STL, like most of the stable coins in Pulse, at least the ones that I know are CDPs, right? In the sense that you deposit some collateral, sometimes it's Pulse, sometimes it's HEX, sometimes it's PLSX, sometimes it's Inc, whatever, right? There's different types of coins for different types of collateral, but the goal, like the logic and the goal is always the same. You always borrow less than what you deposit. That's this very simple logic, right? So some of the benefits, right? Because I think that these ideas, stablecoins are man, we could do like a huge lesson on DeFi and only on stablecoins, because stablecoins are like the pillar of DeFi. They're like the base pillar, probably the most important thing. Why? Because they like, when we talk about stablecoins and everybody's like thinking $1, like forget the dollar, just call it unit of account, right? We want something that's just a unit of account that's stable, that's always one. We want the number one there, right? That's it. That's what we're looking for, right? Otherwise, we need to do way more calculations in DeFi stuff, right? When you're borrowing, when you're lending, etc. It's much easier if you're doing it like in stablecoin terms, right? That's why it's kind of like the base pillar of DeFi, right? Because everything kind of needs a stable unit of account. Now it's the dollar, but it could be like anything else. It doesn't really matter, right? It's just the number one that is there that matters at the end of the day. So some of the benefits, in simple terms, are you don't sell your coins, right? So you can actually access liquidity without selling your coins, right? So like maybe that's just one benefit. I split them up just to have more stuff there, but maybe that's just one benefit. The point is like you don't have to sell the coins, you can access liquidity, right? So that's the most important benefit. And the second one, in my opinion, is the yield opportunities, right? Because I think all of these stable coins, they have like incentive tokens, for example. So this means that if you provide liquidity, you can access the incentive token without selling your stablecoin, right? So you can sell something else if you want, for example. So some yield opportunities. So obviously, these yield opportunities are not only tied to stablecoins, right? They're tied to many things, like other things like X, for example. It has an yield opportunity embedded in the code, right? You can stake it, meaning that you burn it and you'll mint more HEX tokens in sometime in the future, right? At some point in the future, basically. But yield opportunities that do exist in stablecoins, specifically for stablecoins, specific farms, all these yield tokens for stablecoin pools, etc. So there are many yield opportunities that are specifically targeting stablecoins. So that's another benefit, I believe, that you get from using stablecoins. But of course, there are no benefits without risks. So obviously, you need to pay attention to some stuff, right? So for me, the most important one, the one that maybe I'm not sure if like this is the most important only for one reason, because the counterparty risk. Because if there's an issue there, right, in the contract, for example, a smart contract has bugs, or there's a hack, or like the decentralized oracles are exploited. I don't know, right? Some issue. Doesn't matter what type of issue. There's just an issue, right? Because there's counterparty risk. You're using a smart contract, right? So there's always counterparty risk. No matter the audits, no matter whatever, right? It's just like an additional layer of risk. It's like, for example, using Maximus Perpetual or X1 or Hedron. Like you're using another layer, right? You're adding another layer of risk, right? So that's just what I mean by counterparty risk, right? It's not that it's centralized, nothing like that. It's just that there is counterparty risk in that sense, right? That you're using another set of tools. Can be only smart contracts for sure, absolutely, but there could be issues there, right? And the other issue, like an obvious one, it's low liquidity, right? Because usually there's less liquidity for the stablecoin than there is for the underlying, the collateral token, right? For example, for the HEXDC stablecoin, there's much less liquidity in HEXDC than there is in HEX, obviously, right? So I mean, this is pretty obvious, right? Although yes, you can access liquidity, but you need to understand that the price you're paying for that liquidity is the additional counterparty risk and the slippage, right? Because if you have large amounts, it's unlikely that you can just sell those amounts without without slippage, right? Because the liquidity is much thinner, right? So there's that risk, right? That you need to take into account, that you should take into account, right? And I know it's not really a risk, it's just a setup how it is, right? And that can change, right, in time, obviously, right? And especially imagine all these stablecoins that are backed by Pulsechain tokens. As the Pulsechain tokens appreciate in USD terms, like the liquidity for those stablecoins will also increase, right, in dollar value. So that's like a problem that we have right now. But I also think that it's only related to the fact that we're in still like a bear market or a bear moment, right? A moment where, like, I'm not talking about Bitcoin. I'm talking about Pulsechain, right? We're at the all-time low, so. It's normal that like the stablecoins have low liquidity. That's absolutely, understandable, I guess. I would be surprised if it wasn't like this, right? So, and what I mean by low liquidity, of course, like a lot of these stablecoins have millions in liquidity, but it's against Pulse or against network tokens, right? What I mean by low liquidity is liquidity against DAI, right? Against like a stablecoin itself, right? Because don't get me wrong, I don't mean that just because the stablecoin is paired with a non-stablecoin is less valuable. No, that's not what I mean. I just mean that in terms of liquidity, it's the route that I'm talking about, right? A route between a stablecoin and DAI is a direct route between two stablecoins, right? And that's the liquidity that I believe that matters the most, right? It's a stablecoin between direct routes, right? Not through token network pairs, right? So Pulse or Hex or whatever it is, right? I'm talking about direct liquidity between two stablecoins, right? And that direct liquidity is just because both tokens are stablecoins, right? So obviously, in my humble opinion, it's like the most beneficial if stablecoins are paired with other stablecoins, and the stronger the other stablecoin is, the better, right? So that's just my opinion. Obviously, this is only my opinion, right? Because I'm sure there will be a lot of people with different opinions, right? They say that it doesn't really matter if the other pair is a stablecoin or not, and it's okay. They can have that opinion, and I don't mind, but I don't fully agree with that. I think it's much better for a stablecoin to be paired with other stablecoins, right? In terms of peg and in terms of stability, right? So this is basically just a quick overview of the risks and the benefits that I see in using stablecoins, right? So, assuming that there are no counterparty risks, like that the products are don't have keys and there's no issues, the most pressing problem or issue that you will have is basically the low liquidity, right? That's it. That's the thing that you probably have to worry about the most, right? Or at least in the short term, right? When you use the protocols, right? There's another risk here that I didn't add, but it's just because it's literally how stablecoins work, and it's like liquidations, right? But I didn't add it here because it's a risk within the protocol, within the stablecoin protocol, but that's not really a risk. It's just how it works, right? If you use a stablecoin and you are over borrowed, right? And the price goes against your debt position, you're gonna get liquidated, right? And you're gonna lose your collateral, but you still have the stablecoin, right? So it's a trade-off, basically. It's a trade-off. I don't really see it as a risk. That is just how stablecoins work, I guess. It's not really a risk around the stablecoin. It's just a risk with the stablecoin itself on of how it works, right? So I didn't put it here just because of that. Anyways, the second slide, the second point, right? Just comparing, and let me zoom in for a second, right? Don't forget that I have these shades, so sometimes I cannot read right. But anyways, just comparing stablecoins, right? And I just took these ones from GoPulse, right? I'm sure there are more. I'm already just by looking at the stablecoins, I know that I'm missing, for example, the ink printer, the new stablecoin ink printer, because like for example, this one is for Pulse, this one is for Pulsechain, HEX. This one I think it's CST is also Pulse in dollars, I guess. Hex and Hex and others, right? But like it's missing ink, right? So I already noticed that it was missing that one. But I will tweak this in the future. Like I did it like in like half an hour or so. So like yeah. And I spend most of the time just looking at the liquidity, right? Like the liquidity, and guess that just making like some quick calculations, just checking different pools like on Dex Screener, on Gecko Terminal, on Fux, or like everywhere that I saw that there was like liquidity that mattered for these line right here, because this is like at the end the liquidity that I personally care about, right? Is the direct liquidity between stablecoins and DAI, right? So we have a bunch of them, right? USDL, USDL is for Pulse, PXDC is for PulseX, XDC again is for Hex, CST, I think it's dollars and Pulse, but mostly dollars, right? Like correct me if I'm wrong, right? I think it's dollars and Pulse. Hex one is Hex, and the PVP is Hex, and it's going to be for like the others too, I guess, but mostly Hex. So like looking at this, what's important, right? Because again, if we remember the risks, it's the counterparty risk and then it's the liquidity risk. So regarding counterparty risks, like all of them are immutable, have immutable vaults, right? So what I mean is that the vault itself, that it doesn't have keys, right? As far as I know, and this is because as far as I know, these are, at least these here are fork of liquidity, right? Actually, CST, I think CST is also fork of liquidity. I think, but I'm like now that I would need to research it a little bit more for CST. But like these ones, I'm sure that they are forks of liquidity. I think it's liquidity. Yeah, it's liquidity. Then. But they use the different tokens, right? So this is good. This is good in the sense that if they're forks of something that has been like super audited, that's actually quite positive, right? Because there's less probability of risks, right? Because it has been battle tested, right? So that's an obvious like good thing, I guess. But for example, in terms of immutable price oracle, none of them have like an immutable price oracle, right? Which like in most cases is fine, and it's not a problem, right? It's not really a problem because like the oracles are not really hacked, right? Nobody is like changing the prices to sweep the pools, right? But it could be a problem, right? In the sense that the oracles, and we can see by pDAI, right? The types of issues that can arise from having oracles that are basically compromised, right? So it's actually a good example. Not the best in the sense that the most common attack, if you have an oracle that is compromised, is not that the attack that is happening right now with pDAI. It's a different type of attack. It's a much simpler attack, right? Where you just change the price of, for example, the underlying, and you can basically take the positions by liquidating them, for example, right? And there could be others, right? That could be definitely others, but and again, I just identified these here because there's options in Pulse that have like immutable price oracles, right? But this is a trade-off, right? For example, Hex one doesn't have like a hard peg, right? It does have an immutable oracle, right? But it doesn't have a hard peg, right? This means that like the peg will probably fluctuate, it will fluctuate much more than all the others, right? Because the liquidations only happen at the end of the stake, basically, which in the Hex one's case, for Hex is 15 years, right? So it's obviously normal that it kind of decouples a little bit, right? But this is like at some point probably like this will change the name from stablecoin to like financial derivative, right? Because it, although it has like all the features of a stablecoin, right? You add collateral, it has a price oracle, you can borrow against the dollar value of your collateral, but because of the because the liquidations only happen at a much later point, you can take positions, right? You can, and there's like a bunch of positions that have been taken in X1, and I think there's like positions there, right, to be taken now, I guess. You can take positions, right, but you only take the underlying, the hex at stake at the end, right? So you can still borrow against the positions that you take, right, because they become yours, but you cannot really withdraw the hex or end stake the hex. You can do that with pDAI, right? So that's why pDAI will have a hard peg, right? Because when you liquidate positions, you liquidate them and you get the underlying hex, right, immediately. So this is why kind of hex one doesn't have the hard peg, okay? But it does have a immutable price oracle, right? Which at the end of the day I think is a feature because it cannot be hacked, right? It could, like, there's other types of compromises, right? Because it's on chain, it's an on-chain price feed. It means that somebody with a lot of money could attack the pools. When I say attack the pools, is basically buy a lot of a token to pump the price, right? So that they can borrow at a better rate and then dump it, like, for example. But this is just like it's protected against flash loans, right? But you could do it like without the flash loan, right? If you have lots of money, right? So that's the thing about on-chain oracle, right? But it's like it's trade-offs. At the end of the day, it's always about trade-offs. I don't even think that it's like one is better than, no, it's not about being better. It's literally just about trade-offs, right? Things that you prefer, right? That's it. Because at the end of the day, I think all of these are like good and have like good features and benefits like in their own way, own way, right? So it's a matter of choosing, right, what you kind of prefer at the end of the day, right? So yeah, and basically the last point, which is the liquidity versus DAI, right? Because, like, as I said, like, all of these coins have much more liquidity, right? If you see against PLS or in this case, for example, against HEX, or I'm like, there's much more liquidity against other pairs, right? But I'm only checking, I'm only discussing the liquidity against DAI, right? Sometimes it's like USDC, like mostly it's DAI, but sometimes it's like there were like two cases. I think it's PXDC or was it CST? I don't remember. But there were there was one case where it was USDC, but because the value at the end of the day was low. Because look, there's another thing. If you look at these liquidities, right? At some of these liquidity pools. For example, the PXDC and XDC on FUX, it appears like 153,000, something like that. But then if you actually go there and take a look, you see that only there's like 80k DAI, and then the rest is like of like amounts of these two coins, which means that the 80k in DAI, it's actually kind of split, and I put it like in 50% between these two, but I'm sure that the ratio is not really 50% among these two, right? But my point is that because you can use like V3s, because you can use these types of curve AMMs, right? You kind of can tweak the liquidity that's in there so that the dollar value shows a very high amount. But then if you actually go inside and take a look at how the pool is composed, it doesn't have that much DAI, right? And for example, in this one in FUX, it shows like 153k, but then if you actually go and check the pool composition, you see that it's like a lot of the other coins and not much, and like in this case it's still a lot of DAI, like 80k DAI, but it's not 150k, right? It's less, and this happens like with all like most of the coins, right? When they're using a V3 or a V3 pool, right, or a curve AMM, right, which is FUX, for example, because again the compositions can be tweaked inside. But okay, this is just to give you more or less, guys, an outlook how the composition looks against DAI, right? And I'm sure that these values are not really 100% correct. Like this, I'm sure there's like a little bit more here or there or whatever, right? But this is like just a general value that I found, right, for these coins. So actually, if you can, like, if this is wrong, I'm sure somebody will correct me and I can, change it. So it's actually good, right? I don't mind if this is wrong because somebody will correct me and say, oh no, but you forgot this or that, and it's fine. I'll just update it. But my point is just to give you like an understanding, an idea that the liquidity is very low, right? In in DAI terms, right? So that is essentially the price I believe you're paying, right? If you want to, because I'm assuming that you have a stablecoin, you want to trade it for something else. It's it can be a stablecoin, right? You want it to hold as much value as possible, right? That's the goal of a stablecoin, right? Then you can maybe use it for other coins, right? Obviously, to buy other coins or not, I don't know, right? Maybe you want to use it for yield farming or whatever, right? Yeah, just to give you like an idea, right, of how the pools are composed, right, in terms of DAI. And yeah, it's still very low liquidity, right, which is fine. Again, we're near all-time low, so this is absolutely to be expected where we are now. So I'm not like a critic, right, in that sense. And I see a lot of people like criticizing a lot of these protocols because they did the sacrifice and they had like 50 million or whatever. Like, look, it's no expectations, right? It's a sacrifice, so they can do whatever they want with their money. And I mean, I wasn't expecting them to to deposit that much liquidity, into LPs, but this is only my opinion, right? Only my opinion. I'm not saying that they did good or bad. That's not for me to judge, right? I have an opinion on sacrifices, and you guys know that I don't like them. I think it's retarded, right? It's a very bad deal for the investor or participant. It's not an investor; it's a participant, right? Because at the end of the day, people are always expecting something out of the sacrifices. So we call it sacrifice just because we want to be retarded, because they're not really sacrifices, and they're just copy pasting research. Like, we did it, so I'm gonna do it too. Although we also did the hex before that, a finished product, no admin keys. That, so maybe start with that one, I guess. But anyways, I'm diverging. Yes, sure, I can expand more on PvP, Temtem. Since you're asking, I will for sure. So PvP, in the case of PvP, oh, sorry, let me just hide the chat for a second. Sorry. So in the case of PvP, I think it's in a way it can be an upgrade, right? Because it does have this this feature of having an immutable price oracle and having a hard peg, right? So PDPD is basically an upgrade to Hex 1. Is just a stablecoin backed by short-term Hex t-shirts, right? Well, actually, let me. Oh, I can shield it. The piri guys will be happy if I shield it for a bit, right? They pay me in piri, so I'm gonna eat a few more piris if I shield it for a bit. So yeah, sure. Let me just share the screen so that we can actually see the website, because since you are asking about it, I can actually show you the website, because they have the homepage already. They released the homepage already, so I can actually show you. Let me just share the screen. If I can find it. Did it load? I didn't load. Give me 1 second, guys, because I don't know why it's like sometimes Restream doesn't load the screens correctly. But I can share directly, so I can just do it like this. Sorry, give me a second, guys. Boom. Okay, I can share it here. Perfect. So I believe I'm sharing the screen so you can see it. Let me confirm here. Can you see? Yeah, you can see the screen. Perfect. So Temtem piri is like an upgrade to Hex 1, right? And you can check piri.win. Basically, that's the main page. And here, as you can see, they just give you an explanation, right? So it's for Hex t-shirts, short term. So 6 months to 1 year, right? So like in Hex 1, it was t-shirts 15 years, right? In the piri case, it's for short-term t-shirts, right? So the t-shirts that you create when you deposit Hex into the vault are short-term t-shirts, right? And this is important. This is very important. You'll understand why this influences the hard peg. But the idea is that one PVP is $1 worth of Hex price, right? Of Hex. So, and they will add, like, with other cards, right? Like PLSX Inc. Probably they're already targeting meme coins, I guess. And there's like other features, right? But before I go into those, right? Let me actually explain why this works for a hard peg. It's because when you have short-term Hex stakes, right? When you have short-term Hex stakes, this means that the emergency stake that you do, you don't lose that much, right? Because it's a short-term Hex stake. So in their case, for example, if you do a 1-year stake and you emergency end stake on day one, why I say emergency end stake? Because in pDAI case, when your stake, when your position goes into liquidations, this means that when your position goes into liquidations, the person liquidating, they will receive the hex, right? They will emergency and stake the position and receive the hex, right? When they repay the debt, when they pay your debt, they will take your position and they will claim your hex, right? And they, like the hex protocol already takes a portion, right? Like imagine if you emergency and stake on day one, so you create let's say you create a 180 days, right, position, or 100 and whatever days, like I think it's 184 or 85 days, something like that, 6 months, basically 6 months position. It's the minimum, right, for this to work, basically. And you emergency and stake on day one. So this means that the price of Hex goes down, you maxed borrow, and you're gonna be liquidated. In this case, when somebody emergency and stakes on day one, they'll get 94% of the bag immediately, right? That's the amount they'll get if they emergency and stake on day one, right? So because the amount that you're borrowing, it has to be lower than 75%. You already have this premium between 75% and 94%, right? Which is the amount of Hex that you get in dollar terms. So yeah, that's why it works for day one end stakes, which means that it has a hard peg, right? Because every time there's a discount, or when I say discount, when the Hex price goes against you and you are going to get liquidated, whoever liquidates you gets the Hex, right? Gets the underlying Hex. So there's absolutely no reason for to be a DPEG, right? That's basically because it's the same logic as like all the other stablecoins, basically. They have other stuff, right? They have other stuff like they have the incentive token, which is Hexit, and they have credits, which is basically a way, the way that they distribute the fees, right? It's not like through V tokens or staking tokens. It's not like you don't do that, right? You do that for the incentive token, right? If you provide LPs, you get the incentive token. But for the fees, if you want to get the protocol fees are actually deposited into PLSX V1 farms, so ink farms. And they stay there forever, right? You can burn the Hexit tokens, which is incentive token that you get by providing LPs, and you can burn them for credits, right? And with credits you play these jackpots. And these jackpot games is basically the way that they distribute the fees, but they don't give you the fees. What they give you is the yield generated by the fees, right? Which I think it's kind of like a very good solution, because because it means that even when the volume is down, it doesn't matter, right? If the volume is down, if the volume is up, it doesn't matter, because it's going to keep accruing more and more ink, right? The fees that go into the farms, right? They just keep accumulating more. So it's actually a smart distribution model, I think. And what else? I think the other cool thing that they have is these position NFTs, right? And it's like it's cool because it's very different. And I think the idea behind this is to create an emotional attachment to your position, because instead of just being like a number that you see there, you actually can choose a skin. A skin is basically the NFT that you have. You have 8 different types of NFTs. One is always given you for free if you don't want to purchase anyone, and if you want to purchase, it's done with Hexit, right? It's the incentive token again that you burn, right, to buy these skins. But because we have these skins and they're super cute, 3D models, very well done, basically you might create an emotional attachment. And they also did this for another reason, is because you have insurance, right, on pDAI insurance, because when your positions mature, because this is Hex related, right? When your positions mature, you have 14 days, right? The protocol gives you 14 days to claim your Hex before it starts the penalties, right? So you start getting penalized. So what they did is they give you different insurance that you can buy, right? And when you buy insurance, right, the insurance is basically the color, not the color of the NFT, the color behind the NFT. It has a background color, and that color is the insurance, right? And the insurance is basically the number of days that you have before your position goes into liquidations, right? Imagine the number of days that you have from the end stake moment, right? Let's say that your position matured today and you have a free insurance. Then you have 3 days to mature your position before it goes into liquidations, because you need to mature your position, you need to repay the debt and mature the Hex, right? and mint the hex. Sorry. So if you wait more than 3 days and you have like a the free insurance, it goes into liquidations, because they want, like, the protocol wants to, like, take care of it as soon as possible, right? And then you have the 14 days, which is like the maximum insurance that you can buy. Basically, that's it. And the NFTs are not really the insurance; they are the skins, right? So you can have like the most expensive insurance with the free, like, skin. Sorry, damn. I end up speaking too fast, guys. Sorry. Yeah. Let me see if we have more questions. Sorry, guys. I've been like blasting you guys with information. And J-Dub says, I think you're missing a certain on the list, pal. Yeah. Are you talking about pDAI? I mean, if it's pDAI, maybe we need to wait a little bit longer before adding it to the list, I guess. Yes, I can compare all of them. I mean, like, I don't think like I wouldn't compare these stablecoins to pDAI, right? Because it's like pDAI is still a meme coin, guys. Like, it does have stablecoins functionality, and it could be working, right? I'm not like, attacking anyone, right? I'm just saying that right now it's a meme coin, right? It is a meme coin because the oracles are kind of broken. There's an exploit, so no, it is what it is. It's still a meme coin, right? And Temtem asks, so Hex1 is long-term stakes? Yes, exactly. PvP short-term stakes? Yes, precisely. Am I understanding correctly? You are, exactly that. Actuator protocol is not really a stablecoin, right? Actuator protocol is more like Maximus Perpetual, right? It's more similar to Maximus Perpetual because they don't use the price oracle, right? There's no US dollar value from those stakes. You get the token, but it's like Hedron, right? Hedron is almost a stablecoin. The only reason why Hedron is not a stablecoin is because it doesn't have an oracle, so it doesn't know the price of Hex, right? So that's it. That's the only difference, right? That's why you get to mint Hedron tokens, but the Hedron tokens are related to your T-shares, are not related to the price of Hex, right? And the stablecoin, it needs to be related to the dollar value of the collateral, right? That's PDP and Hex1. They have a price oracle, right, running on chain. So that price oracle looks at the price of, like, Hex, and tells the protocol, oh, look, the price of Hex is this amount of dollars, right? But that's it. So Actuator is more akin to Maximus Perpetual, right? Or a Hedron. Yes, sir. PvP, man. I love the ticker, by the way. Like, PvP is going to be an amazing ticker. PvP is going to be an amazing ticker. Like, the protocol is not out yet. They're going to release soon. They're auditing the protocol right now. So it should be soon. It should be soon. Sometime this month, I guess. Hopefully. Thanks for sharing. No, man, it's up. Like, Temtem, thanks for asking the questions too. I think it's important that you guys ask the questions so that we can, keep the discussion going. Can we also look at Hex1 and compare using the protocol to Flex? When is, like right now, I would say that Flex. I think Flex has more liquidity, right? So, I like, again, it's in terms of security. I think Flex is a fork of liquidity. So in terms of battle tested, like, liquidity, the liquidity is much more battle tested, like, in terms of smart contract. That's just a fact, absolute fact, right? Now, it doesn't use, for example, the on-chain price oracle, right? So, like, there could be a different type of issue, right, regarding for example, the price oracle, right? But in terms of liquidity, in terms of battle, of how battle tested the contract is, I would say Flex, right? Like, any day of the week, right? So yeah, but just comparing one to the other, right? And they're not really, they're different, because Flex uses Hex, right? And the Hex1 uses T-shares, right? So imagine that if you say I want to use the T-shares, then you go to Hex1. If you say I don't mind using T-shares, or I don't mind using or using Hex, I just want the one with the more liquidity, for example, or the one that has, like, the the least likelihood of having like an unexpected issue, right? And yeah, Flex for sure, because it's a fork of something that it's battle tested, so by many different protocols in many different chains, right? So yeah, in those like regards, absolutely right. Hex One, the difference is Hex One uses T-shares, and it was built for Hex, basically specifically for Hex, right? Because of the T-shares, because it uses T-shares, right? So it depends, right? I don't know, right? It really depends on what you want to do, right? But if you're looking for more liquidity, then probably Flex, right? And it is more flexible, right? Because you don't with Hex One, you kind of like stuck, right? The stakes are there for 15 years, and there's like you cannot change that, right? With Flex is way more flexible, right? So yes, that's also that fact, I think. So yeah, I think I kind of covered enough of pDAI, I guess, right? Of some of the features of how it works. Let me see if there's like anything down here, and like you can see the website yourselves, guys. I'm not gonna spend much time here, right? Just to give you an overview of what it is, and that they already gonna pay me like in like many pDAIs. I'm gonna get so many pDAIs, guys, for this. Like I cannot imagine it. Like I'm gonna have dinner for like 2 weeks minimum, 2 weeks for sure. So yeah, this is like the betting part, right? Because when like they're gonna have like the jackpots, like actual like slot machines and other games, right? That you play with these tokens, right? You don't use money, right? It's just fun in the sense that you can farm the incentive token, and with incentive token you can burn for credits, right? So you don't really need to buy the incentive token, right? You can just use the protocol, farm the token, and then play and receive the ink yield, right? So I think it's quite cool. It's quite different. It's not passive, it's quite active, right? It will make people engage with the protocol more often, and I think that's actually smart, man. It's actually different, and I like that. I like things that are different, that are tailor-made for Hex. I love that. It's like stuff that's being built there specifically for Hex, right? Oh, and I think the Git book, you can also check the Git book if you guys want. It's already live too. Sorry for the white man. Oh my god. Oh, don't I have something for that darker on? Let me put that shit on. So yeah, man, you have like the Git book. So if you want to see more stuff, they have a nice diagram here with like how it works, all the logic. You can enhance it and zoom in and see everything of how everything works. This is like quite complex, actually. You see, this is the NFTs example with the insurance, right? Let's see. I want to have the chart, right? This is not how it looks, by the way. It looks much better on chain, right? This is just like an example, so that you understand that like there's the image and then there's the background, right? So that you understand how the insurance looks with an image, right? And this is not like any fun. This is just a diagram, right? And yeah, you can already see the logic of the entire protocol, how it works here. So like yeah, just check the Git book, I guess, if you want to know like more details on the vault, the PPDPs, which is the pDAI that position. So these NFT things that you mint, right? The insurance, so the skins basically that you have, and the costs, and how it looks basically. I think I'm gonna tell, like, they should upgrade this like to something that I guess, I mean, you already have this one, right? You can already see more or less with this one how it's gonna look, right? This is just one example. And look, this is a shrimp with the orange background because it's the free one, but you can have like a shrimp with like any background, like all the backgrounds that they have there for the different types of insurance, right? So at the end of the day, you have like 64 NFTs, and I forgot this part. This part is pretty fucking insane because I wasn't expecting this. I thought like you would get the NFTs during the for the position, right? That existed, and then the position ended, and that's it. But no, you can actually mint the fucking NFTs. You can actually mint the NFTs at the end if you repay your debt. And stake Hex like you should do, right? At the end, you can mint the NFT. It's fucking amazing, right? Like this is like another layer of incentive, right? It doesn't mean that it's going to be because of the NFTs it's going to be successful. No, absolutely not. I don't think so. I think it's just another layer of incentive that it can actually work. It can actually help, if people like the NFTs, because like the guys doing this, like they come from drop books, drop books from sports, let's say, and and collections world. So they kind of like built drop books in the past for NFT. So like it's something that they already know how to do. So they've done in the past for like way more complex things, like football NFTs. So it's completely different, right? This is much more simple, right? In that sense. So I mean, it's gonna look great. I'm 100% certain, right? Knowing their background, that's what I mean, right? Like that, like a Dropbook it's cool, right? It's like you can collect that. It's cool, man. At least for me, because I'm one of those guys that I still like, even today I still like have the sticker books, where I put like the football things, like the players. That's like I still do that today. Like I like to. It's something that I've done all my life basically. So I kind of like to do it. So I think it's gonna be sweet. It's gonna look nice, and it's another layer, man. It's another layer of extra sauce, extra spice, basically extra spice, adding extra spice to the protocol, right? And I like that, man. I love like aesthetic stuff, great design. I don't think it's only about how does it work? Is it like useful and that's it? No. Like go to market, go to product. To have a proper go to market, you need like the full thing, it's not only the engine, right? When you buy a car, it's not only the fucking engine that you care about. It's like the outlooks, how it looks. It's the technology. It's the aesthetics. It's like details, right? It's the service that you get. Like it's so many things. That's why I like these projects that are trying to do not only like the protocol itself, but like actually building around the protocol, right? Like adding the incentive layers. Oh, you can get this token, all right, but it's not only the token that you get. You can burn it for like play jackpots. Oh, you have these NFTs that you can actually mint at the end, so you see this like a different like mental. I like that, man. I think it's like fresh blood, man. It smells like fresh blood, like it's different. I love that shit. It's like, damn, I'm happy for that. I like that. So guys, and like we're talking about PDPD so much, thanks to Temtem. Thank you for the questions, Temtem, and for comparing them and for asking the questions about these protocols, because I think they're like super useful, right? All of them, all the protocols that we discussed today, they're extremely useful. If you like stablecoins, if you want to add that extra layer of risk, because it's an extra layer of risk, we need to understand it. Just like there's many in Pulsechain, right? Like many that are working perfectly fine, that are like amazing in terms of like technology, right? How it works. And there's like these new things like PDPD coming up that have like a different way of doing things, I guess, right? It's more about not more. When I say more, is like they care a lot about the aesthetics and the looks, let's say. So I mean, it's great, man. I love that. Like there's so many people building on Pulsechain. I guess like we're near all-time lows. This is crazy. Like near all-time lows, and we're discussing like 5-6 like stablecoin protocols built on Pulsechain. This is insane, man. This is like crazy. We should have like maybe one, right? When I say we should have, it's like with the amount of hate, with the like amount of going down, like we have like so many more working teams are here, people are building stuff. Like it's crazy, man. I'm so bullish on Pulsechain. It is insane, and I'm glad that like the outsiders are not even aware, man. They're not even aware. They think we're dead. They look at the chart and that's it. Like these guys are done, and it's perfect, man. It's actually perfect. I tell you guys, the moment that I like the most in crypto, I know this is gonna be hard for you to hear, but it is what it is. It's during the bear market. It's like the 3 years of bear market when you can build stuff, and like there's drama, I know, blah, 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 but it's actually possible to build things. There's like not many people onboarding and like just asking you, blasting with you with questions like non-stop, and you don't have time to build anything. It's just like support. You're doing support all the time basically. So when you're not on that moment, because I've been to true bull markets, right? So like I've experienced like not being able to do anything like for like 6 months to a year, right? So it's actually good. I'm actually happier in the sense of building stuff when we are on the bear market, right? When the proper bull comes, man, it's impossible. Everybody's like running. It's crazy. It seems that we've like, we're missing the boat. We need to ship. We need to like do everything, and like everybody's coming and they want this and that. It's insane, guys. It's like it's so hard. So yes, I'm actually enjoying right now the quietness, because it's so good, man. Like, and I know, guys, you hate me for saying this, but when the time comes, you'll see how crazy it will get, and you'll kind of miss these days, in the sense of, we could have a conversation there, like the chat is like not crazy, we're like with hundreds of people just blasting with tokens and questions and like stuff that's unrelated. You see that it's hard for us to keep track, so that's why actually I'm quite happy during these times. And I know it's hard for, like, most people, because we're suffering with the prices going down, but if you're committed, like Temtem is, right, like TS Pedro is, like no Engine Dub, who's like been here for the past episodes, like Cryptoland, like you guys are, right, asking questions, interacting, you're on the right mindset, right? So you're already, like, preparing, trying to build your positions, trying to understand what you can use, how you're going to use it, etc. Like preparing, testing, so that when the time comes, boom, it's gonna be fast, and I'm already ready. I don't need to waste time like learning stuff. I already know everything that I need, and I'm just ready for action. I like that mentality, man. And as you can see, it's not too many of us. Like, how many people are watching? Like 100 people. So it's like it's very few, and it's great, man. It's great. This is the core people that I want to keep hanging around, when the bull market comes, when the bull market goes. These are the people that I want to hang out with, because these are the people who are building stuff, who want to stay here on the chain, right? Independently of the price, like, because we're not here for, like, because of the price, right? We're here because we believe in this, because we like the people, because we like the protocols, because whatever reason we like Richer, right? So man, this is the sort of people that I want to hang out with, right? Not the people that are gonna come in like a couple of months, because I don't know if those guys are gonna stay, right? And I'm sure that there will be many that will come and will be blasting with like influence, and people will hear what they have to say, and like, this guy knows, he's new, he's fresh. But yeah, I'm not gonna listen to those guys, right? Like, they're new here, right? They're gonna have to earn my respect, they're gonna have to earn my respect, because a lot of the people that some respect, it's others I was like, and just I could just tolerate, right? But most of them I actually like doing like rug pulls and shit and blah blah. So like, they kind of lost the respect. So that's why I was like, late last year I was saying, like, we need a leadership change, because this shit is getting like like crazy, right? The Mexican leadership is crazy, like the pDAI leadership was like crazy. Like, so all the leaderships were like, oh man, what the fuck are we doing here, right? So I was like trying to, that's why I think this is actually why I started streaming, just like to try to put the ship in the right direction, the way that I see it, obviously, right? The way that I see it. But anyways, so far this has been a great discussion, guys. I think it has been a great discussion. I hope you're learning something, and I hope you're enjoying it. But it's time, I believe, for a commercial, so that I can take a very small break, and then we can come back and talk more about stablecoins, or maybe we can look at some charts. I don't know if there's like many charts to look at right now, but we'll see what's happening. That's what I mean. So stay there. I'm just gonna play a very quick commercial, and then we'll move on. Guys. So just one quick second. I hope you enjoy it. There we go. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had fun with the commercial. I do like these commercials, guys. I think they're awesome. Thanks, Temtem. And I appreciate you guys, man. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for you, honestly. Sometimes I do like to talk to myself. Yeah, that is true. That is true. But come on, like not every day, right? It's good to have interaction, to have questions, to have you guys to hang around, to hang out with. Otherwise, it would be boring after some time, you know. I do like some monologues from time to time, but you know, it can get boring, I guess. So I do appreciate you guys being here and asking questions and helping me doing a cool stream, and I do appreciate you guys for that. And we can always revisit this information. Like, remember all these slides, and Temtem, I'm not sure if you saw the previous slides, the other slides about other things, right? But there's like narratives, right? There's narratives that you need to look into, like the cores, like the memes, like products that are coming within the memes. Because look, guys, I love memes. I love these memes. Memes are a way of onboarding people. That's how I see it. Memes are a way of onboarding people, and I know that. But we could directly onboard to Hex or to Inc. or to I know, but chill. We need to respect the market, not force stuff into the market. And the market is more like, especially I think nowadays, is more like, look, I like this meme. This looks like a cool picture. I like it. I understand it. For me, it makes sense. He's most wanted. So yeah, I love it. I'm going to buy it. Or Pump. Yeah, I love Pump.tires. I'm going to buy Pump because this is the exchange token, of course. Or ADA, or, Dive, or, BitcoinHEX, because whatever reason, or Best, or doesn't matter which one. But it's just an onboarding tool, right? For the people who come, right? Because it's easy. It's very easy to understand the story behind it. There's no complex utility staking, or there's nothing. It's very easy. It doesn't mean that they won't buy other stuff, right? It's just an onboarding tool, in my opinion. Just an onboarding tool, right? And I like them. I personally like them because they're built by RH, right? I like stuff that's not built by RH too, obviously. I love it. Hedron, I love Maximus, I love so many products on Pulsechain that I absolutely love. But having the RH brand for meme coins, I think it's cool, man. It's absolutely cool that we have that seal of approval, let's say, especially for the new entrants, I guess. So, and this one was like for people to remind themselves that where we are, right? Because sometimes we're like, I don't want to stay in cores because I need more risky stuff. But it's like, look, guys, we're all like, cores are already extremely risky in the global scale, the global risk to reward scale, right? This is just okay. It doesn't maximize. So in the global risk to reward scale, this is like where we kind of are, right? This is the risk on the right, on the x-axis, and on the y it's the reward, right? And obviously, like, there's like meme coins and stuff that's like on the spectrum, like pDAI, for example, on the far end spectrum of potential rewards, but it's like extremely risky, right? In the global scale, it's insane risk. Like, people outside Pulsechain think we're retarded. Not in a bad way, like, because we're so crazy. Like, our risk tolerance is so out of the normal scale that, like, we're just retarded. That's it. So yeah, man, this is what we've been discussing on the previous sessions, right? So finally, the PLS risk to reward ratio, in the sense that this is how I see it, like, more or less distributed. Like, so the pDAI, more or less, like, first in terms of like risk to reward, because this is like, it's being exploited, but people are still buying it. So it's extremely risky, right? Would I buy it? Probably not. It's like, no, not interested right now, because, like, in my opinion, when the founder, the leader, tells you, look, there is actually an exploit, which is something that I found before, like, before the confirmation, I was like, there's something fishy here. But it doesn't mean it's gonna end. It just means that, in my perspective, I prefer other things, right? So but I respect it. I respect the narrative. So it's here, right? In number one, in the sense of reward to risk, right? It's because it's crazy risk, but the reward could be actually insane. Something that I tolerate actually is, for example, the non-RH memes, right? pDong, Extractor. I don't know who made this, but I always say this because it's true, and I have no fucking idea about the intentions, right, of the people behind pDong and behind it. So I don't know, but I just like the memes. So I put them here, right? They're way more risky than, for example, RH memes, but the reward could be higher, right? Because they have less liquidity, etc., right? Like, less people involved right now, right? And if they pump, they'll pump harder. That's just the obvious, right? That's something quite obvious. And then we have the RH memes, because when they are compared to, for example, cores, they have less liquidity, they're newer, so they're obviously more risky, right? But within our ecosystem, within Pulsechain, PLS risk reward, this is within Pulsechain, they're not as risky, right? Just because they're made by RH, so like how risky can they be, right? It's like they're not. We know that RH likes to release coins that pump. That it doesn't mean that these coins will pump. I'm just telling you like the framework. Does RH build coins so that they don't pump? No, I don't think he does that, right? I think he builds coins to pump, right? So I don't think they're risky at all, right? I think they're very similar to cores in terms of risk, right? Because they're made by exactly the same guy, right? And they're approved, in the sense that he vouches for them. He speaks about pump, etc. So, yeah. I think it's in the Pulsechain spectrum, they're around here, right? They're not risky, right? But of course, if you go back in the global, risk to reward, they're extremely risky, right? Because they're super new, made by RH, which is somebody that a lot of people outside of Pulsechain don't like, etc. So it's risky in the global, the global panorama, let's say. But guys, I think this is enough. Should we? I'm not sure if I'm going to the charts today. I think everything is down basically. So buy. This is my advice. Buy. Just pick the ones that you like and literally just buy it. This is moment for that. I think it's kind of pointless for me to just because we saw the charts during all the week. So it's red. So buy basically. This is my only advice, non-financial advice, retarded advice. And so far I haven't seen anything super interesting today on Twitter. Only Temtem's message basically and questions that made me want to do this stream today basically. That's but that was it. I didn't see any meaningful or discussion today that I thought it was worth exploring, to be honest. So I think we're gonna take a break from that today, and it was just a stablecoin discussion. I guess it was just a stablecoin discussion. Guys, I hope you enjoyed it. I kept it a little bit shorter today. I hope you don't mind. Thank you so much for being there, guys. I'm just gonna play the usual commercials and then end with the usual clip, the intro clip. I love that clip, man. It's I love those aesthetics, those weird meme aesthetics. They just speak to me somehow. They speak to me. All right. So, anyways, let me stop sharing the screen, and thank you guys for being there. Don't forget to subscribe, to like, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much, guys. Where do I stop the music? There we go. Let me just stop the music. Thank you once again, and we'll speak tomorrow. Leave the like. Come on, leave the like and share it with your friends. It was a great discussion today. It was a very good discussion. So I think I do deserve that like. Let's go. Bye-bye, guys. See you tomorrow.
Underestimate the power of the pDAI.
I think it's time to blow this scene. Get everybody in the stuff together.
ではこの暖かな空気のこの後の予想を見ていきます。こちらは晴れると15度くらいまで上がるような暖かな空気です。今は九州や四国が中心となっています。この後明日にかけて動かしてみますと、だんだんとじわじわと北上する予想です。明日の午後には東北、北陸まで晴れ間が出そうですから、明日は今日よりも気温が高くなって暖かくなりそうです。ただ雪が多く積もっている地域はレースの傘でご注意ください。さて今年はいつもの年よりも桜前線の食上早くなっています。これまでに開花したところを見ていきますと、これまで九州から関東にかけて開花しています。今日も神戸や宇都宮、水戸などから続々と開花の便りが出ています。この週末、お花見を予定されている方もいらっしゃるかもしれませんが、日曜日は気温が低くなって寒くなるところがありそうです。お花見の方はお散歩をお願いします。では、明日の しょう。
まさか
太平洋側
何
西日本沖縄は広く
いいもんなっちゃったんですか？そっか、喉が
最近の今朝よりも低いところが多いでしょう。札幌から新潟にかけては不安定です。最高気温は全国的に今日より5度前後高くなります。多くのところで4月並みです。札幌は5度、そして関東から西の地域は20度まで上がるところが多いでしょう。では週間予報。札幌から東京です。日本海側は土曜日
すみません、桜様。
日曜日の太平洋側で雲が